guys, what's up? I'm Sophie Lightning, and this is a momentous YouTube video for me because I'm going to be the first Nerf influencer to review the brand new Hyper MACH100. When I tell you guys that I was unbelievably excited when I saw that this blaster was coming out, I am not lying to you. This is probably the most excited I've been in a very long time. As you guys know, the rival Percy's was my favorite Nerf blaster. This might take the cake. So let's open it up, see what's inside, get right into this review. I am so excited. So inside the box, you're gonna get the main blaster. Can we just take a second? Can we just take a second? That is a nice looking blaster. Wow, I love the color scheme. I love the design. That is so sick. It already looks better than the Percy's, no offense, but I'm already a fan of this one. And you also get 80 of these brand new Hyper rounds, which we will get into in a little bit. As you can tell, they are significantly smaller than rival rounds, which are what I feel like most people are going to compare this to. So there's already a really cool fact about it. I'm going to throw some more facts your way and then we'll get into the review. So this is a $69.99 blaster coming out in June 2021. As I said, it is a brand new series called Hyper, brand new rounds. Everything about it is super new, super cool. And the best part about this is that it is engineered for velocity, meaning that you're going to get 110 FPS out of the box. I don't think you guys understand how insane that is for a stock blaster. That's 20 to 30 more FPS than any rival blaster ever came straight out of the box. So that is super cool. Also, the fact that the rounds are so much smaller is really awesome for a lot of avid Nerfers because it means that you can fit a lot more in the hopper. As you can tell, this hopper is literally like 1/4 the size of the Percy's hopper, but this holds 100 Hyper rounds, which is so cool. That means you're going to have a lot more time actually using the blaster and a lot less time reloading. To further drive that point home, they're also selling these refill canisters separately. These are 100-round refill canisters that just attach to the tack rail on your blaster, and then you can literally load it up in like 2 seconds, which is so cool. Obviously, these are reusable. You just continually fill them up, put them on your blaster, and then when you want to reload, you can just dump them in like 2 seconds. So, like I'm saying, this is so cool to me because you're going to spend so much less time actually reloading. Obviously, at the end of the day, you're going to be walking around picking up these rounds, but in the meantime, you can just have an insane amount of fun without having to pause to pick up rounds nearly as frequently as with rival. Let's look at the outside of this blaster before we do anything. No. As I was mentioning, the aesthetics on this blaster are insane. I actually really love this like kind of neon yellow green barrel, and I love how it extends into the pulse. I think that that's so cool. Also, can we just admit that kind of looks like a lightning bolt? That being said, this is a fully auto blaster, which means that all you have to do is rev and then hold down the trigger. Sorry, that is just so insane. And the rounds are gonna come out as fast as they possibly can. As you can tell, that is insanely fast. I'll give you some more metrics on that once we go outside. In addition, this comes with 2 tack rails on it, meaning that you can put a 100-round refill canister here and here. These do appear to be different tack rails than most other Nerf blasters, but that is totally okay. You have this one flip-up iron sight. As you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of sights, but I do appreciate when they, you know, just take the time to add something extra like that. I do really like it. Overall, the look of this blaster is insane. As far as comfort goes, this is definitely made for a bit of an older target audience than like the typical 10-year-old audience because these do come out so much faster and harder than a lot of other Nerf blasters. That's what makes it so cool to me, is that this is finally kind of the very competitive version of Nerf for young adults or teenagers everywhere to really just have a competitive gameplay with, which is super cool. As you can see, it does also sold separately come with masks because eyewear is definitely a must when it comes to this blaster. These things are coming at you super fast. As far as comfort goes, though, this thing is insanely comfortable. I can't even explain really. As I was mentioning, it is definitely made for like bigger hands, bigger shoulders. It definitely fits that really well. Even if your shoulder was bigger than mine, it's gonna fit comfortably. This grip is insane. It could definitely fit a bigger or smaller hand. Ergonomically, I gotta give this blaster a 10 out of 10 because I do feel like it's incredibly adaptable for just about any size person using it. And everything about it is super comfortable. They put a lot of thought into it. I like this little dip here so that it's really comfortable to rev the motor and put your finger on this trigger. It also come with a safety just like rival. I think we all saw that one coming. It's definitely a great safety measure that I appreciate. And yeah, this thing is just absolutely insane, and I think I know what you guys want. Let's go take it outside. Now, I do live right on the water, so there's really no such thing as not a windy day, so I apologize for the audio, but here goes nothing. I'm so excited. Alright, let's go over what we just saw. It's a little bit difficult to see on the video, I just rewatched it. I don't think I've ever seen rounds come out of a blaster that fast in stock condition before. That was absolutely insane. I'll show you guys right here. One thing to keep in mind is that it is like the Percy's in the regards to, it does have this like kind of conveyor belt mechanism that spins to push the rounds up front and then push them into the barrel. But they do sometimes get caught, so you do have to kind of wiggle occasionally. It's really not a big deal. Another important thing to note is that it does take kind of a second or two to reach its full, like, maximum speed when you rev it up, which is also very typical of a motorized blaster. I'm telling you, you cannot help but smile after you do that. That is so cool. After using this outside, I also now really understand the reload canisters, because although it does hold a lot of rounds, they also come out so quickly that you're going to need quite a few reload canisters in a battle. That is absolutely not malice. That's actually a really fun, cool thing, because people absolutely love it when the rounds are able to come out that fast. So I'm obsessed with it. It is just something to keep in mind if you do pick up this blaster, which honestly I think you should. Overall, I'm going to give this blaster a 9 out of 10. Really, the only reason why it's not a perfect score is because it does still have some of those very common motorized Nerf blaster issues, such as having to wiggle a little tiny bit to get the rounds up there. It's really not a big deal, but I just would feel weird giving it a perfect score knowing that I do have 1 or 2 critiques for it. That being said, these rounds did go very far. I used my tape measure. They were getting around 90 to 100 feet, which is awesome. I do not have an FPS reader, but I can tell you with full confidence that these are coming out of here very fast, and that 100 FPS advertised is definitely accurate. I can say that comfortably. I also, for the sake of testing and consistency, did test the amount of... But yeah, no, this blaster is honestly so cool. I'm a very aesthetic person, as you guys know from my previous reviews. I always look at aesthetics and then look at performance, which is backwards to, I think, every other Nerf reviewer out there. It's just who I am. At the end of the day, it's a toy, and I just love the way that Nerf toys look. And this thing gets a 10 out of 10 on appearance. Can we just... Oh, it's just so nice. And as I said, this thing is absolutely going to demolish people in a Nerf battle. It is so cool. I can't get over how quickly it shoots these rounds. It's so insane. Take a couple minutes here to also talk about the brand new hyper rounds, because I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions about these. You can pick them up in obviously the 100 round reload canisters, but also just 200 round packs like this. I really like this packaging. It's pretty small. It's awesome. Obviously they're small rounds, but let's talk about them a little bit. So they are approximately 1/3 the size of a rifle round. They're definitely a different material. They're quite a bit more rubbery, bouncy. I kind of think of Rival as kind of like spongy, where this is much more like a bouncy ball, which is really cool. It also gives me so many ideas for trick shots in the future, because these things bounce like no tomorrow. It's so awesome. But yeah, so these are significantly smaller, which, as I said, is just overall advantageous. I don't think that there's a single negative to it. Concern that I saw online was people were talking about finding them, and although you do have to pick up quite a few because this shoots them out so quickly, they are super easy to spot because they are this bright neon yellow. As you guys can see here, I found all of the ones that I used within like 2 minutes in the grass, which was what people were worried about, them disappearing in the grass. So they definitely don't do that, which is really awesome. Good job to Nerf for keeping that in mind and keeping these a very bright color so that you can in fact find them. They do bounce around quite a bit though. It's just like Rival, so finding them in a house, you know, you gotta look under everything, but no big deal. So yeah, that's kind of my first impression review of this blaster. I'm definitely going to do a couple more videos that get a bit more in depth as I get to, you know, use them and play with them a bit more. Because you know, you can only talk about them so much until you've actually used them in a Nerf battle, and I think that that's the thing holding me back from really going too in depth here, because I want to tell you guys the practicality of this, and I don't really have a scale for that quite yet. That being said, I know the practicality is going to be super high because this is, in my opinion, a better Percy's. With that being said, this is a momentous occasion because you guys have been so sick of me always saying my favorite blaster is the rival Percy's. Well, guess what? It's now the Hyper MACH100. What can I say? What can I say? This thing is an absolute beast. I'm so stoked to use this a bit more. Also, guys, I'm going to be doing a battle with a couple of these just to, like I said, really get to know them. And also, I'm going to be doing a giveaway over on my TikTok channel, so go check it out. These things, I'm so hyped about Hyper. More reviews coming soon. Thanks, guys.